Thank you very much for your patience and welcome to all the participants who are online as well as who's present here. Welcome. Welcome once again. So it's going to be a very interesting topic today, and probably one of my favorites is what are we in for? What's the topic? Do we know? Yeah, it is about happiness. It's a very interesting topic about creating happiness for my own self. So how do we create happiness? And let's be a bit selfish. I need to be happy first, because if my jar is not full, I cannot give it to anybody else. So it's very important that I'm happy firstly, prior to anybody else being happy, because if I am happy, then I can spread the happiness around. So it's so vital that we ourselves are very happy first, right? So who all wants to be happy? Everyone, I suppose, correct? Yeah? So most of the times we've seen that we are looking for happiness outside, right? There is, everybody is behind happiness, and we're kind of finding ourselves nowhere, trying to search for happiness, and it's like a mirage. We're just following happiness, and we don't know where it is. And most of the times it's an outside-in approach where we try to gain happiness from outside, material things and factors that till the time the factors are available, we are happy. The factor is gone, we go back to unhappiness. So before we understand how we can be happy again, or what can help us to be in happiness throughout the day. Let's not talk about year, but just for one day, how can we be happy? So if we have to analyze, understand how we can be happy for one day. So that's the exercise, one day at a time. So how can we be happy? Before we understand how we can be happy, we need to understand what has resulted into depleting our happiness, destroying our happiness. Because we say we are sad, we are kind of stressed, but what has caused this? We need to dive a bit deeper to understand what has actually caused this unhappiness. And now it's a state of our being. Most of the times, and it has been recorded, that more than 90% of the times people stay in that zone of unhappiness unknowingly. And that's a big percentage. And we are not even aware about this. It's like, if we have a headache or fever, we know with the help of a thermometer, and we can cure ourselves. But what about being unhappy? There's no thermometer that we can gauge that I am happy or I am unhappy. But with the recent study that was conducted, it was found out that more than 90% of the times during the day, people are unhappy. So just 5 to 10%, and then that keeps repeating. That's quite a lot, isn't it? Yeah. So 5% of the day, or 5 to 10%, of the times during the day, people are happy. Rest, they are very unhappy. So first of all, we will find out what goes about being unhappy, and then we can find a solution. Because what is important is, if you are going to any doctor what is the critical, most important part of the doctor is not to give medicine, but to identify what the problem is. If the problem is identified, giving the medicine is very easy because it's standard. So let's understand what is causing our unhappiness, right? Can we move on with this? So let's understand what's causing our unhappiness. Now, with this, we'll just move to the board now. Okay, see, we usually have two frequencies that we work on. Okay, there are two frequencies throughout the day that we are working on, knowingly or unknowingly, right? So what are the two frequencies? Frequencies could be energies to be put, we work on two energies. So either our energy is fear or our energy is love. Let me explain to you what we understand by energy and frequency. Basically, if you have to dial a number, all right, when you dial that number, for example, if I have to dial Mr. Mike, when I call Mr. Mike, it goes to Mr. Mike. So that's actually, it goes to that number, but it goes to that frequency which is set to get to Mr. Mike. Same way, out in our lives, we work on these two frequencies, fear or love, which is inbuilt. Now, what is the inbuilt fear that we are born with? Just two. Just two fears that we are actually born with. And rest is our creation. So what are the two fears that we are born with? Do we know that? No. What are the two kinds of fear that we are born with? Yeah. What are the two kinds of fear that we are born with? And that is to protect us. We're born with just two fears, which is, one is the fear of sound. Okay, so basically when we hear a big loud sound, for example, for a child, all right, let's assume we are a child. So when the child hears a sound, he gets jittered. So that's the fear that when a bomb blasts. So that's a fear just to protect us. And the second fear that we are born with is fear of height. So that is also to protect us so that we don't just jump down. All right. So inherently, so even for a child, if he sees a big height, by default, he won't jump down because we are born with that. Okay. So fear of sound and fear of height. Okay. So the second fear that we are born with is fear of height. Apart from that, all of the other fear is what we have created. Clear? All of the other fears is what we have created. So from this fear, what we have created. So as a child, we didn't have. So number one, what we have created because of this frequency, okay, all the time we are fearful, and what we've created for ourselves is anxiety. Does that relate to? Most of the time, if you see, we're not even seated. We might be seated, but then we are thinking of so many things. We're not at peace with our own selves. We're only peaceful if we could get something. But if we tell somebody to just sit down and be peaceful, it becomes very difficult. So we are all the time very anxious. What is going to happen? What will happen? How it will be happening? So all the time this anxiety is there. Why this anxiety is there? One of the reasons is because we've got 60,000 thoughts per day. And that's actually been recorded. So we don't even understand what kinds of thoughts on a daily basis we go through. We might be just seated down and we might be completely down and dejected because of these thoughts. So fear, because of this frequency of fear, all the time we are anxious. We're in this zone of what will happen, how it will be happening. Second is we are, after anxiety, is stressed. Everyone it's a normal thing for people to say, I'm stressed out. I'm completely stressed out. So even for a child nowadays, if you see him stressed. I remember we didn't know what is stress when we were a child. We used to just keep playing. But now if you talk about child, he will say, I'm stressed out. So that's the second part, that we stress. Third, with this frequency of fear, what comes in is we're very serious. Even if we have to wish somebody a simple good morning, when we have to wish somebody, what happens is, good morning. It's so serious. Are you wishing good morning? I don't know. So it's so stressful because we are so serious. In that very serious mode, we have that fear that we are operating unknowingly under this frequency of fear, and the way we say good morning as well is very seriously. Morning, yeah, just morning, yeah. Morning, mate, morning, friend. That's it, yeah, right. And it's become not as a good wish, but as a part and parcel of the social norms and regulations, but not really coming out from the heart. I really wish you a good morning. I really wish you a good day. I really wish good for you. That doesn't happen. Because we're under the serious thing, we've lost our. So that's one of the reasons. So because of this frequency of fear, we're all the time anxious, we're all the time stressed, serious, depressed, and 90% of the diseases that we have is psychosomatic. It's nothing to do with anything else. But if mentally, if we are not fit and fine, right, we catch up to these diseases. And one of the reasons is depression. We quickly go into depression mode, knowingly, unknowingly, and then the cells and everything gets affected inside our body, and all of this causes havoc and diseases. So if you see disease, if you break it down, it is dis-ease. So we are not at ease with our own selves. And that's why if we are not at ease with our own self, it brings about disease. Dis-ease. Yeah? Okay? So that's number 4. Number 5, again, it's the ego that we have, the consciousness of our body, the ego that we have, and mostly it is connected to our identities. So egos is mainly connected to our identities, which is I am could be a mother, I am could be a CEO, I am rich, I am poor, I am very bad, So all of this, when you say I am, right? And if we are basically attached to that, then we're going into the egoistic mode. Yeah? Does it relate? Yeah? So the identities, the misidentification, we are not what we were. We have actually worn something else. So we have misidentified ourselves, right? So that's the reason why we say, I am this, I am that, I'm tall, I'm manager, I am this, I am a car, I have a car. So we identify ourselves. So if somebody has to talk about himself, it will be his name, nationality, I have a car, I have this. So all of these things become our identity. It's not wrong to say, but this is our identity. My nationality becomes our identity. My religion becomes our identity. My car becomes my identity, sorry. My job becomes my identity. My position in that job becomes my identity. My salary becomes my identity. So all of this, when they become my identity, what happens? I'm always operating under the frequency of fear. And when I'm operating under this frequency of fear, what happens? It leads to unhappiness. And this is what we are doing on a day-to-day basis with ourselves, on a regular basis, and without knowing that this is what frequency that we are operating on. This is the energy that is there within us and vibrating amongst us. And because of this energy, others around us get affected. So some of them say, I don't have many friends. I like to be alone. Nobody gets attracted to them because their energy is very low and very contagious. They don't want to be amongst friends. And if they are, they will spread unhappiness amongst friends as well. So a happy person, if you see, he's more social. He wants to be amongst the people. But an unhappy person, no, I'm not that kind of a person. Let me be all by myself. Yeah? Okay. So 4, 5, and then the 6th one, very, very important as well, is what makes me my belief systems. Again, all of these are incognito. When I say incognito means I don't have a barometer to check this. I have to be attending sessions like this to reflect on myself. Am I having this problem? One of the belief system would be, and we all have this, I would be happy when. So, the belief system, I am going to be happy only when so and thing happen. Or when I get married, when I have 1 million in my bank, that can be a goal. But you cannot connect happiness to that event. Because if you connect happiness to that event, you will be running emptied for that goal, and once you reach that also, again you will be unhappy. I will be successful when. So a lot of our belief systems are based on if and when. I am scared because this person might is always thinking bad of me. So that belief system already is there that he's not thinking good about me, or she's not thinking good about me, or what would I do? What will the world say about me? So that belief system also of people's judgment is already so engrossed. So that also puts us in this frequency. So all of these, so if you see this frequency, we need to analyze. This workshop is more of a reflective workshop where it's not a motivation like, you come, but it's more of a reflecting, because you've got to work on your own self. You have to work and see where my blind spots are. And it's for yourself. You may open up and tell me that this is what it is, but you can go back and see where your blind spots are. Because this is continue. What we have done is, the good thing or the bad thing what we've done is, we've practiced all of this and perfected. We have practiced being anxious, being stressed out, we've practiced being serious, we've practiced being depressed, egoistic with our belief systems. All of this we have practiced very well, and we have perfected them, which means that this has become a part and parcel of our life. Sadly. And then we ask, why am I unhappy? You're unhappy because the frequency at which you are working on a daily basis, because if you work today on this frequency, naturally tomorrow also you're going to be working on the same frequency. It's not going to change overnight, because it's become a habit and it has entered in your subconscious mind. Anxiety has become a part and parcel of your life. Stress has become a part and parcel of your life. Depression has become a part and parcel. Seriousness has become a part and parcel of your life. So when all of this becomes a part and parcel of your life, what happens? You are that frequency. All the time. The moment you get up in the morning, I'm getting up. Who gets up with a smile and wow, another day? Most of the time, yet another day. So when they wake up, there is a frown. They're not grateful for the day that they are. Yeah? Clear? Any doubts or any clarifications from the online team? If any questions, any comments, or am I okay? Okay, fine. And which areas this gets impacted? When I'm talking about this, when I'm working on this frequency, all right, which areas of my life are getting impacted? Any guess or any idea? Okay, and which are they? Number one, I would say H. H is for health. That gets impacted. Number two, I rate this because health, and relationships I put, on top, because if you have a healthy relationship, then you can really get along very well. So one is health that gets impacted. Second is relationship. Third, again, very big important factor, money, right? And then C, I would say your career, whatever you're doing, your career. So all of this gets impacted primarily because you are working. So some of them might say, my health is not good. All right, you might go to the doctor, you might get some tablets, or then again you're coming back, because primarily if you continue to work on this frequency, your health is going to get impacted. Sooner or later you might have some diabetic issues, pressure issues, and diabetes and pressure is right on the top because of not just the food habit, but being anxious all the time. So there's a lot of people and they think one of the reasons is they think smoking would help them to suppress the anxiety. No, in fact, it raises the anxiety level, and also affects the health. So health, that's why the average life of people now are what now? 50, 60, primarily because we continue on a day-to-day basis with this frequency. All right? Clear? And then the second one is relationship. Very important. If we are operating under the frequency of fear, anxious, we are so serious, all right? Very difficult that people you will find. In fact, your own relationship with your own self is not good. Forget about relationship with others. That's a different ball game altogether. But relationship with your own self becomes a bit topsy-turvy because you have all this. Like, I don't want to even sit down with my own self reflecting because I don't like my own company. Being stressed out, being anxious. I don't love myself. Right? So that's the relationship getting impacted. Money. Obviously, money is also an energy. Money is an energy. It comes to people who work on their frequency. So it will stay with the people, right? It will come and stay with the people who are working on the frequency of love. So most of the people say, I don't know why I get money, but there's not enough savings. And many of them are struggling for money. And one of the reasons why you're struggling for money is because your frequency is fear. You have all these issues as well, and that's the reason why you are mostly struggling for money. And the last is the career. Your career, because you're stuck. Most of the people I see over here are stuck with one position for 10 years, 15 years, stuck with one company. I'm not saying it not to be, but then they're kind of stuck, glued. Their intellect is stuck because they're working. They're so fearful to take a change. They're so fearful to see if there could be something better. Why? Because they're working under the fear of this thing. Why haven't you moved for the last 10 years? Because I'm so fearful. I don't have that caliber to see that I could get a job elsewhere. And they keep crying also. My salary is very low. I'm not growing in this work. I am where I am. Why? Why are you not moving? Fear. Don't know what will happen. It's not that because they are loyal to the company, because they are not finding opportunities elsewhere. There are some who could be very loyal. That's a different case if you're very happy. But many of them, I'm talking about the majority cases, majority of the people are stuck because of the frequency. They're stuck badly. So all these areas of and these are important areas of your life, because if you're not happy on the health side, relationship side, money side, what are you doing then? And then you say, okay, then when all of this is down, we try to find temporary happiness, buying something, doing something on a short-term basis just to make up for it. But that makeup is just a temporary one, which is why we say the happiness is usually an outside-in process. We try to get happiness from outside just to fill ourselves. But inside, these problems are still there. Yeah? Clear? So one of the thing was to at least understand where we are at, and then we can find a solution, right? So let's come to the solution part now. So we have another 25 minutes. Let's come to the solution part. How do we go about with this? So congratulations, at least the first part. Now we know why we are in that position. In such a short time, we've identified where we are, what is actually stealing our happiness, right? So let us see anxiety as number one. So, and one of the reasons for being anxious is because we have 60,000 thoughts every single day. And then over a period of time, those thoughts are repetitive. So the thoughts what you have yesterday, similar thoughts you will have today, and similar thoughts tomorrow. Same with me, like every person have plus or minus. So suppose there are 60,000 thoughts, 55 or 59,000 of the thoughts will be repetitive. 1,000 would be kind of plus minus. And out of that, 59,000, 90% is negative. That's quite a lot. So one of the areas where we need to analyze, work on ourselves is the thought level. Like, the moment the thought arises, we need to say, oh, because now we are working on ourselves. It's easy to take a depression tablet and then, that would work for some time. And then again, what do I do with that? So the permanent solution would be to work on my own self, understand that the quality of my thoughts, all right, the quality of my thought impacts the quality of my life. Should I repeat that? The quality of my thought impacts, positively or negative, the quality of my life. So if you want to be, so the moment you have a negative thought, you're down. So you need to analyze, let me see all of the thoughts that are directing me to some other place, gather them. I say, I don't want these thoughts. So just, when it gets into your system, identify, I don't want this thought. And one of the ways to do this is to put a full stop. This is one of the best ways to stop these negative thoughts. How? A thought comes, this person did this, and it's usually with people. So this person did this to me. How can he do this to me? Why did he do this to me? I was so nice to him. How can he do? What we are doing is we're putting question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, exclamation. Which is easier to do? To put a full stop or to put a question mark like this? Which is easier? To put a full stop. So the moment somebody's done something, he did and he's gone. But what you have done is you have given him place in your head, which is so important place. And he or she doesn't deserve that. So the moment, that thought comes, let's put a full stop. He's done this. Another full stop. Yeah, because we have learned, we have practiced stress, seriousness over and over. So when we want to go to positivity also, we have to keep practicing it. You'll tell me, no, I tried to put, but then again it came. Again, put a full stop. Again, third time it came. That person came. Put a full stop. Because by then you have the power, all right? And you are so knowledgeable that you know how to put a full stop every now and then. It's okay. I have the power with me. I can put a full stop. So when you put a full stop, you're not anxious. You're at peace with yourself. Yeah? Okay? So, because, and also when you think about people, every person has energy. And as I said, 90% of the people are radiating at which frequency? Fear frequency. So all the time, if you think about people, my boss did this, my this, or whatever, which frequency are they operating on?
Where would you put the frequency of rage, violence,
Oh,
aggressivity?
yeah, that is
Fear, of course.
fear, of course, fear.
Yeah.
Why would they, if there is love frequency, you would not even think about violence. You not think about difference. So all of this would come under fear. I don't want to talk about, but then the seventh one was violence. The seventh one was violence, but we generally don't talk about violence.
It's connected with the ego identity.
Yeah, it's the ego identity that I'm right. It's usually the I'm right, he's wrong. And then the violence begins. And then, with kids, it's normally this.
Because it's a high energy.
It's a high.
And the fear is low.
Correct.
Is it correct?
Yeah. Now, from the fear, all of these energies come. That the main energy is the frequency is fear. And with this frequency, all of these boil down to. And ego is so subtle because you can't even catch it. Because when a person thinks I'm right, he's right. It's so difficult to tell him, hold on, just look, what are you doing? No, I'm right. So, and then the violence begins. When it starts with, when kids are there, when they're saying I'm right, they fight and they forget. But when you are grown up, you've perfected that. I'm right. As a country, I'm right. That country is wrong. Let me put a war against them. That's the ego. Nothing else. So again, they're working. And when we start thinking about people, what happens when we think about people? They are operating under this frequency. So when we think about them, we automatically are absorbing their energy, knowingly or unknowingly. And it's most of the time unknowingly. So when you think about the person that you love, what are you radiating at? A better frequency. But most of the time we think about the people that we don't like. We hardly think about the people. Okay, he's nice, let it be. But we think about the people who are not nice. Why is he not nice? And we go on with this. So we have to understand everything is energy. You think about somebody, that person has an energy. You think about that person, he is under this fear, you're catching that energy. So throughout the day, what we're doing is contamination of energy because 90% of the people are under this frequency. Yeah? Stressed, we talk about seriousness. People are serious. So what's the solution? What's the antidote to seriousness? Very simple it is actually. Just like, the dot it was over here. There is, for serious people who are gloomy all the time, moment you see them, you don't want to even say hi to, oh my goodness. What's the antidote? What's the solution for that? Very simple. Smile! You've got it. Imagine if you are something happens to you. And immediately when you react in anger, you go into a different zone. But if something unfortunately happens, when you smile, your energy changes. So before you respond to anything, give it a smile. And practice, even you can sit down and smile and see how your energy changes. When you talk, you smile. When you're conversing with people, you can smile. But not as if you see, okay, so where are we now? What have we understood from you? They're so serious. Where's the smile? Bring out the smile, guys. We don't say be funny. It can be funny as well. But what is more important is bring out the smile. You can, these are very serious topics. They are not very, but I'm not presenting to you so seriously. I'm bringing out the smile from time to time. So smile. And it really stretches. And every time you smile, the hormonal changes inside. So it acts so positively. So when you say good morning the next day to anybody, if you've practiced smiling, how would the good morning come? With a big smile. Okay. And then the identities. Let me explain to you. Identities of I am. I am a CEO. I am a father. I am a mother. You know, we are so attached to those roles. I am whatever. You know, understand this is not you. We have to understand this is not me. I am currently just playing a role of that. If I'm a father, I've been given the responsibility. I am fulfilling the role of a father. Very simple. So what happens when you do that? You are detached. You don't feel I am the father. So what happens when you think I am the father? He should listen to me. He should respect me. He should do what I say. He should. I don't have anything now being a father because I know it's my role. I'm just playing the role of a father, but I'm not the father. You see the difference? I'm just playing the role of a father. I'm just playing the role of, I have my own business. I'm just playing the role of a businessman. I'm not that businessman, that tycoon. No, I'm just playing the role of a businessman. I'm playing a role of a husband. I'm playing a role of a father. So all these identities that I am this, I am that, I am that, I'm just playing a role. When you are detaching that I am from the role, you feel, oh God, I'm so light. I'm so free. Rather than burdening yourself with I am. Most of the people, like, who are, they feel that this is their identity. I am multi-billionaire. This is their identity. I could be a billionaire. It's nothing wrong to be a billionaire. But that's my role. That's it. So you can't be caught up with that identity. I am whatever nationality. And I am right. He's wrong. I'm just playing my role. He's playing his role. It's fine. Nothing about right or wrong. So it just gives you that freedom of detachment. Unnecessary burden is cut off. And you're fine with yourself. I don't have, because ego is the most subtle and one of the most heaviest baggage that's there. And that causes a lot of trauma. And obviously you see the violence and all of that. That's correctly, as you said, it's ego. The belief system, it's again very subtle. You need to look at your own belief systems, right? Most of the belief systems that we've got are inherited. Most of the belief systems that we've got are inherited. We have got it and we've not questioned it. And we've just said, okay, my mother was doing it, my father was doing it, my country was doing it, my friends are doing it. But hello, is it correct? Is that belief system correct? So just a question, just a reflection, that whatever belief systems you have you questioned? Have you reflected on them ever? Because if you haven't reflected, then this belief system causes a lot of trauma for yourself. I will be happy when, to give you my example, like, I used to be I used to eat meat, chicken, all of that, because, in my house, we've been brought up with that. But then when I looked into and I said, is this morally correct? Or just because others are eating, I should eat? So I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that you should do it, but I'm just giving you my own example. Is that morally correct? Is it helping you? Is there any alternative that can be done instead of eating meat? So yes, that's just there. So, and I'm full with that. So, challenging your own belief system is very important. And questioning if this is ethically, morally, does it sound correct? Or are you just believing because somebody else believed it and you've been just following it? Yes. I'm not saying others what they've thought is wrong, but just question if it is correct or incorrect. Like, when we were brought up, we will say, okay, you will be happy when you've done your studies, you've done your, you have a house, and then that's when you're settled and everything is fine. But I'm still trying to see where, that belief system, okay, you study, okay, but then you say, okay, now you're studying, now you have to find a job. Okay, then you'll be, and then after what? After finding a job, then get married. And then you'll be happy, then you're finally settled. So that, again, that belief system that takes you, doesn't keep you in your present tense. It just tells you that you have to do this, 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 then you'll be happy. And then after doing all of this, wait a minute, where is my happiness gone? Yeah. And I'm searching. The idea should be, like, let me be happy and follow my dreams or whatever I want. I'm not saying don't follow your dreams, but don't put a condition. A belief system is a condition that I'll be happy when this will happen. So most of the belief systems are actually depleting our energy. Some of the belief systems are great. I will be, come whatever, I'll be so honest. Come whatever, I'll be, they have set of belief systems, values, which are helping. Go on with that. Some of the belief systems are not good for you. Identify those, all right? Throw them out. All right? Makes sense? Yeah. And then we talked violence is primarily because of the ego and the anxiety that we have. So all of this, my dear, every day ask yourself, which frequency am I operating at? And that will give you the answer, and that will then explain to you why you are unhappy. Because there is no barometer, there is no thermometer, nothing to, if you go to the doctor, that will tell you you are happy or this person is unhappy. Nothing. It's only your self-reflection. It's only when you start to work on yourself, when you accept the fact that you have an issue, all right? Some people don't even want to accept that they have an issue. Then God bless them. Because if you don't work on yourself, it's very difficult. Yeah? So then, is this clear? Any questions so far from your end?
One question.
Sure, go ahead.
So if the fear that we have as a child is only about these two things that you said, the fear of death that we get later on, because I thought, I think
Yeah.
that the depression, we have anxiety, this kind of energy. Sometimes, no, often they are connected to the
Death.
fear of death.
Okay.
Because because we, how can I say, because yeah, because we are not in contact with ourselves.
Yeah.
And with the death also.
Yeah.
We don't work enough
Correct.
on this issue, let's say. So
How do we?
this affects.
This
And
affects.
so you mean that the fear of death is a creation of the mind?
It is. The question that was raised was just to the online, that what about fear of death? Is that natural? It is not natural. Because if it is natural, then then you will not be like fear of height. It doesn't keep coming to you because it's natural. Only when you see height, you will not jump from that. You will not go to the 10th floor and try to jump and see. So, but fear of death, why it is not natural? Would you like to think about why it's not natural? Because it is a universal law. Everybody who comes into life has to die. So when there is nobody who's going to be immortal, and I don't know when it is going to happen, I'm so free that it is going to happen. Like I've never had that fear of death. Never.
For yourself?
For myself.
Neither for others?
Neither for others. Because even I have kids, I have wife, I have mother. They have to die. It's a bit this to say that, but this is the ultimate truth as well, that you who has come into life has to die. So why to fear? As a small child, he's never had that fear. So when you want to challenge your fear also, put yourself as a child. As a child, will I fear? So a small child also, if you throw him, he has that fear. Yeah. But then later on, when you catch him, his fear goes. But the first time when you do it, he's fearful. Sound of this thing, like you might have a small baby. If somebody has, the moment there is a small, he gets jerked. So that fear is there. Apart from that, fear of death and all of that, it's all our mind creation. But if we accept the universal truth, we have to die, no matter what. Already the date is fixed, the time is fixed. Let me enjoy the journey till the time I'm dead. And then you're putting another this, like, okay, you're creating a belief now, which is a universal. And actually some of the belief systems are actually good, because you've created the belief system, everyone has to die. And my belief system is, every day, let me make the best of it. Because anyways, I'm going to die. So, so whatever I have, and the other good thing is, I'm not going to take also anything from here. So whatever accumulations I'm having, like I want this, I want that, all of that I'm not going to take. So why am I bothered of all this? So it just, these belief system helps me to grow better. Yeah? Any other question from the, okay, wow. Okay, anything else? This is clear? Very good. So then, once we understand this, the other part becomes very, very easy. I wanted to focus a lot on this because this was so important. So, okay, we're close to 5. So, love. Now, when we are operating from love frequency, when we understand this, when we eradicate this, we say, I don't want every day. What we can say is analyze, am I working on a fear frequency or love frequency? The moment you understand I'm under, and so sometimes you need to say, I don't want this fear frequency, let me throw it because this is garbage. Put it out. And then what comes? Consciously, you get into the love frequency. What does love bring? Abundance. What does love bring? Freedom. And what does finally love bring? Happiness. Love yourself. Love is the energy that if we vibrate on, automatically we have abundance. So why am I unhappy? Is because I'm not loving my own self. I don't love others. I mean to say, we love only again with a belief system if he is good to me, or if he is of my same type, or my same nationality, or my same race. I can love everyone in irrespective of whatever they are. I don't have boundaries for loving anyone. So when you get into that love frequency, you're automatically happy all the time. And that bubble inside you, that love for yourself, love for others. So you don't have to keep saying, I love you, I love you. Automatically it radiates. It vibrates. You vibrate on that loving frequency. You get abundance from the universe because you are operating on the love frequency. And then when you work on this love frequency, there is abundance, which means it then impacts positively to your health, to your relationship, to your money, to your career. All of these four are then balanced. You're free. You're not stuck and fearful of your role. You're not stuck, I'm going to die tomorrow. When am I going to die? You're free. And then ultimately this brings, wow. So the moment I keep working on my frequency of love, the more I'm on that love frequency, the more I'm going to be happy. The more I'm on this fear frequency, the more I'm going to be sad. Yep. So we've come to the end of the session, and it's supposed to be for 1 hour. We can actually do it for 1 full day, because we haven't gone deep into any of this and a lot of things, but it was just basically a teaser, all right? Just to give you something is better than nothing, but at least a bit of awareness where we are, what we are doing, how we can do better, what we need to work on ourselves. And it's not about working on others. Life is all about working on your own self every single day. You can only get big when you learn. You be small, you learn, and you work on yourself. Because the moment you think I'm big, and usually it happens with adults, they think they're big now, I don't need to learn after studies. And that's where they go wrong, because they stop to work on yourself. And you don't progress, you don't succeed, you're not happy because you've stopped working on yourself. So keep working on yourself. I say keep learning, and then the L goes, and then you keep earning. Holistically, in all aspects, you keep earning. In health aspect, relationship, money, career. So all of them, have a happy learning, have a happy earning, and enjoy yourself. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.